In the forgotten heart of Bengal, where silence weighs heavier than air, stands the Mukherjee Palace, once a symbol of power, now a monument to regret. Its walls have witnessed centuries of ambition and sorrow, but some secrets refuse to decay with time. They whisper through the corridors, waiting for someone to listen. I'm Dr. Eritra Sen, a historian, and I came seeking answers. But this palace, it doesn't give answers. It asks questions. Questions that can rewrite your very soul. History breathes here, but it breathes too close. I arrived with my books and my theories, but nothing could have prepared me for what I found. The air itself is thick with untold stories, clinging to the dust motes, dancing in the dim light. I was met by Harida, the caretaker, a man whose face seemed carved from the same ancient stone as the palace itself. As he lit a lantern, the shadows retreated, revealing portraits of stern-faced ancestors staring down from the walls, their eyes following my every move. I remarked to him, "This palace, it feels alive." He stopped, the lantern light catching the profound sadness in his eyes. Alive? Sir, this house remembers. Every step you take echoes someone who never left. He was right. With each creak of the floorboards, I felt I wasn't walking alone. I was treading on the ghosts of the past, and they were stirring from their long slumber. Deep within the labyrinthine halls, I found the last heir of the Mukherjee line, Maya. She was a woman wrapped in a faded red shawl, and an aura of melancholy, sitting by a window as if waiting for a world that had long since passed her by. I asked her, "You're the last, Mukherjee." She gave a faint, sad smile. Last, or what remained? This palace had 7 rooms. My ancestors spoke of an 8th, one that shouldn't exist. My curiosity was piqued. Why? What was so special about it? Her gaze drifted to an ornate mirror behind her, its surface clouded with age. "Because," she whispered, her voice barely audible, "it shows who you really are." As she spoke, a shadow seemed to flicker within the mirror's depths, a swift, dark movement even though no one else was there. A chill crawled up my spine. This was no ordinary family secret, driven by a historian's obsession. I began my search, flashlight cutting through the oppressive darkness. I explored corridor after corridor, my footsteps the only sound. Or so I thought. Faint, hurried footsteps seemed to trail just behind me, always stopping when I did. Whispers, like the rustling of dry leaves, slithered from the corners of the rooms. "Don't open it. Don't remember." They seemed to say, rooms numbered 1 to 7. The original blueprints showed nothing beyond the main hall. And yet, every now and then, in the corner of my eye, a reflection in a dusty mirror would show me something more. A hallway that wasn't there, a doorway that vanished when I turned around. The reflection says otherwise. The house was playing tricks on me, or worse, it was trying to show me the way. My search led me to a vast, circular hall lined with shattered mirrors. Each shard reflected a different, distorted version of me. 100 fractured Eretras staring back. And then I saw it in one of the larger, less damaged mirrors. A reflection of the wall behind me showed a door, an ornate wooden door that wasn't there in the physical room. I spun around, nothing but cold, bare stone. My heart hammered against my ribs. Impossible, I breathed, a soft voice, seeming to come from the mirror itself. Answer me, not impossible, forgotten. As if in response, the mirror's surface began to fog up from within, and a single perfect handprint appeared on the glass, a desperate plea from the other side. I had to know more. I found Harida again, and this time he told me the full story, the legend of the 8th room. He spoke of the 19th century Zemindar and his beautiful wife, the Zemindar, consumed by a jealous rage, accused her of betrayal. His punishment was not swift, it was eternal. The 8th room was her prison. He sealed her alive in a chamber lined with mirrors, leaving her with nothing but her own reflection for company. Haridia's voice dropped to a somber whisper. They said she begged the glass to break, to show her a way out, but the mirrors only watched. They watched her scream, they watched her fade, and they remembered her anguish. It was a prison of reflections, designed to turn a soul against itself. Returning to the Hall of Mirrors, I stood before the one that had spoken to me. I had to know what was on the other side. Hesitantly, I reached out and touched the cold glass. In that instant, my reflection froze. It stopped mimicking my movements. A slow, chilling smile spread across its face that was mine, but not mine. Tenet spoke in a woman's voice, filled with centuries of pain. Kamini's voice, free me or take my place. My blood ran cold. What are you? I demanded. The reflection's smile widened. I am the truth your books never wrote, the history that bleeds. As she spoke, the mirror began to ripple like water, and to my horror, my hand began to sink into the glass, pulled into the cold, dark world beyond. Suddenly, Maya burst into the room, her face a mask of terror. I told you not to search, she cried, her voice trembling. She's my ancestor and my curse. The mirrors around the hall began to crack, one by one, the sound like splintering bone. I struggled to pull my hand back from the rippling glass. You knew about this, I yelled. Maya's eyes filled with tears. She was buried by guilt. I carry that blood. I am her descendant. If she escapes, I disappear. My life is the lock on her cage. As she confessed, the mirror showed a horrifying sight. Maya's reflection began to dissolve, fading away, only to be replaced by the triumphant, spectral image of Kamine, ready to cross over. The central mirror shattered, not into pieces, but by dissolving into a shimmering doorway of faint, ethereal light. The 8th room was open. Kamini's voice echoed all around us, a venomous whisper that settled deep in our bones. Every sin needs a witness, and every witness becomes the sinner. Compelled by a force we couldn't resist, Maya and I stepped through the portal. The room inside was bare, empty, except for a single, ancient mirror standing in the center, its surface glowing with a sinister red light. I looked into it, and what I saw stopped my heart. I saw myself, but older, his face contorted in a mask of silent, unending rage-trapped. I looked down at my hands, then back at the mirror. It was then I understood. The man in the mirror wasn't a reflection. It was me. I was already a part of the prison. Weeks later, the Mukherjee Palace is restored, a gem of Bengal's heritage open to tourists. They marvel at its architecture and listen to sanitized tales of its past. They flock to the famous antique mirror room, taking photos, admiring the craftsmanship. But they don't see what I see. No one does, because I'm still here, trapped behind the glass of a large, ornate mirror. My silence screams unheard, watching the world go on without me. A permanent exhibit in a haunted collection. Some histories can't be written because their ink still bleeds. Thanks for watching. If you were captivated by this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss our next journey into the unknown.